We're coming back together after a long period of not being together. So
It's been a while.
It's been a while since I've called you. And, Michael, did you have a spotlight?
I do.
Oh, that's fine.
Sorry.
Look at indie creators. That's mainly the point of spotlights.
Support
Indie creators.
TTRPG,
It's
D&D,
really hard.
anything.
Okay, so we're gonna get started with introductions. I'm Tiffany. I'm the GM of this sorority. So let's go over to Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael at RoboSardi, and I am the house druid. Green leaf girl over here, Elendriel.
Finally, the only druid.
Yeah, only druid now. Because of story stuff, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I knew you were the last!
We'll pop over to Kristen.
Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. I'm Kristen. You can find me on Twitter at Chris Ellie with 2 I's at the end. And I play half monk, half cleric, all mess.
Oh, okay.
It wouldn't be D&D if it wasn't
great.
messy.
Yeah. And with Serena.
Once again, I'm Kiara. I play drums. No,
What do they want?
Band. What instruments will we play? Keonthi would be bass. Shark would be drums. Who's gonna sing?
probably Luna.
Probably not.
Sing and dance. Song and dance.
Does it mean like Ellie would have a guitar, you know?
Oh, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, guitar.
But yeah.
Yes.
I'm Kiara. I'm the Drow Eldritch Knight of the party.
Nice. And go to Mckenna.
Hi, I am Luna. I'm going through, I'm straight up not having a good time right now in character. And I don't have a Twitter, so.
That's fair. So
She's safe.
that's okay.
She's good. We're not. She's good.
She just couldn't decide what to be. I'm a druid,
Oh, yeah.
I'm a werewolf, I'm a paladin, I'm a half-elf, I don't know.
Anyway,
I want to be all of it.
you can find us at Dungeon Damsels.
Yeah.
On Twitter, we're Dungeon_Damsels. Serena is Pixie Apocalypse. She does a lot of sweet art. And Michael is RoboSardi, also does sweet art. So you can check us out.
Who does sour art?
Who does
Sometimes
sour art.
My art.
Oh,
try
yeah,
to doodle.
Kristen also, Chris Ellie does also do art.
I try.
My art.
Sweet,
A lot
sour,
of it is
Ranger
also
power.
Tales fandoms, which is just cool.
Yes. It's mostly just a big hodgepodge on my account. But let's forget about me.
My art can be sour. It's like sour kind of kids.
The Dungeon Damsels account is basically my account. So we're gonna hop back into the game.
Let's do it.
Last time on Dungeon Damsels, the damsels were in Elendriel's hometown of Pillar. After narrowly escaping the clutches of the Triple Crown Mercenary Guild, the damsels split and fled into the mines or stayed with Luna's toxic ex, Odovar Fox. Odovacar. Yeah, Odovacar Fox. Usually
Creepy Odo.
just Odo. Odo has recently acquired dominion over the area through purchasing the land. He insisted on Luna staying so he could get help from his uncle. After things cooled off, Luna, Ellie, Kiara, and Lucius went to Elendriel's parents the next day to find Keonthi, her brother Order, and Ervin had been hiding out there, so the team regrouped. The next day, the damsels set out for an uncomfortable few hours at the town festivities of the founding of the Leicester Kingdom. Odo insisted that he give a speech and that you all lay witness to it. Since you're trying to play to his good graces, you agreed. But things took a turn for the worse when Luna, who has contracted lycanthropy, I guess I shouldn't say contracted, it's a curse, who has been cursed with lycanthropy, turned into a werewolf and promptly murdered Ellie's childhood friend. Bree. So then, Odo's uncle Varen, who was the uncle that they were trying to get help from, was a werewolf hunter, and he said, "Oh, that is my job to hunt werewolves." Therefore, he went into action, and you guys fled town.
Well, howdy there, officer. We had a doozy of a day.
Now with the murder...
The jig is up! Run, run, run!
Now with a murder on their hands, the damsels rush to get Werewolf Luna out of town, but the town is in a panic, and matters take a turn for the worse when Varen starts to hunt Luna. And after a number of hectic incidences, the damsels flee town and took refuge in the local woods. After the day's events, the damsels fell to emotional defeat. Ellie departed into the woods to mourn the loss of her friend. Luna secluded herself. I don't remember what Kiara did. I think she
Talked me out of
Kiara
running
was
away.
big mom.
Oh,
Yeah, she was saying
I
mom.
had an angry mom moment, which,
Well, I know you did that just like before you weren't around. Or maybe you just were there.
She was there.
She was there the whole time? Okay.
yeah, here's the thing. Keonthi went off to go do a perimeter check. I was watching the kids at camp and trying to make sure all of them stick together. The little one walked off. The other one was about to walk off. We're not going to do that now. Where's your father?
I don't
Right
want
over
to
there, 300 yards away.
Yeah, Ellie just bounced as a deer. It's like, I don't want to talk, and turned into a deer.
As you did.
While on
As you do.
patrol, Kayanthi came across Viren, who appealed to her moral compass, saying, Luna is dangerous and she needs to be put down, or else other people are going to die. And Kayanthi, do you want to explain what you said, or do you want me to explain?
Well, howdy there.
I basically said, like, I appreciate you and that you have been through a lot in your line of work, but we have also been through a lot with her, and so she is going to stay alive under our care. Thank you very much.
Arms crossed, hands on side.
And so after that, he was moved by your determination, and he asked Kayanthi if she would be willing to bear the responsibility of Luna killed again, to which she said yes. So then, Baron, almost against his better judgment, departed. You could get the sense that it's, he wants to believe that you can do it, and that's why he's letting you do it.
Well, I want to believe it too, honey, so I'm glad you're on the same boat as me.
Yes, then Kiara essentially scolds Luna and Elendriel into not giving up, and then holds the team together. And the four then, Kayanthi then returns, tells them the danger has passed, and they go further north to try to get to Virkis, which is their final hope of getting help for Luna. And they woke up to a band of direwolves and riders,
Cavalry.
which Luna was happy to find because she knows that as her people and her dad and her family. And we ended last session with Luna and her father embracing after a long overdue reunion. We're just gonna, for this session, we're just gonna backtrack a few hours before that because we have elves who do trans. So,
Also, very glad that you didn't go off with a pretty boy over there. Want to take control of our lives, Irie? We got this.
the dawn light peeks across the horizon as the scent of fresh grass and the early inklings of fall waft through the air on the gentle zephyr that dances by. It's before dawn. Ellie, you get up and have time to walk the forest before Luna and the watch are up. And you see Pip come up, and he or she, they don't really have genders. Pip,
They're all kind of just they.
yeah,
Because they're fey and androgynous and just kind of weird like that.
Yeah, they're forest spirits. So Pip,
Yeah.
Pip wakes up. He kind of blinks up to light, and then you see him. Them walk. Gosh,
You can say he or it really doesn't matter.
I just think I don't like saying they because it's plural and this is a singular, and my grammar Nazi.
So if you say he or she, then
Yeah, and anyway, so we're just gonna say Pip's a boy, and
good boy.
Good
Pip boy. Pip floats over to the direction of the forest, and then it kind of like looks back at you, and then points to the forest.
What's up, Pip?
And it kind of like bounces around.
I mean, you're never up before I am. And I walk towards him.
And you follow Pip through the forest. It's early dawn. Everything's just sort of barely awake. It's still cold. Actually, it would be like, no, I mean, it's kind of cold. It's almost fall. And you come to a cave with a very alive sleeping bear. It stirs And you can see its large teeth as it rouses and peeps an eye open at you. You know there's there.
Wait.
It opens its mouth and vocalizes. He can't really say your name because he can only vocalize so much, but you know.
Yeah. I turn to him, I'm like, Bartov?
And you know that as friend.
I shake my little arms. You know, I'll just run to the cave and give him a little hug.
And he like nuzzles you and he kind of like sits up and then sits back down and like kind of like May and Totoro, you guys have like a little hug. And he gives you a couple licks, and you hear him through his like bear vocalizations, which kind of are sometimes like a brr or like a tongue click. He says, "Friend, you here? Gone long time." His wet nose nuzzles your face. Come, you are no more.
You think so? And I just like kind of look at myself and just like I feel the same. I think I look the same. And then I look back at Bartov.
Ooh. He sniffs you. Yes. No longer come. You are. He wouldn't say adult, but
Matured?
like, yeah, you are full bear. Like he doesn't have like a word for it, but he says like full bear. Full bear. And then he you guys like chat for a little bit about what's been going on. He asks, where go?
And I just like I don't know, I imagine we're just like in this weird just bear cuddle puddle as like how like a bear would like care for their like cubs, because I'm so much smaller than him.
Yeah. And
yeah, I just tell him about like my adventures, and I think I mostly talk about my friends. I'm like, there's this, she's really tall and now she's kind of hairy, but like I think we're gonna change that soon.
And he nods and like just the like a bear equivalent of nodding and just listening to what you're saying. He says, moved. Small two legs push over trees. Land flat. Two legs walk over it. And he guy talking about like farming. So like the around Hillock they expanded farming. So he left to go to a different woodland. Some moons. Oh yeah. He says some moons ago, air smells strange, like sickness. Leave and search for new home. And he looks outside. Found here berries, fish, many.
Strange. Like fire?
And he's like, bright thing. That's hot. Question.
Yeah.
No. Like old carcass. You do remember that, we'll say that Kaonthi mentioned that they came across like this weird corpse in the mines. So he's like, basically says, it smelled weird, so I left.
Oh, okay.
Valid.
And,
That's a good reason to leave.
here, good. Much water, much berries. And he goes up on his four legs and lumbers outside and looks at you. Come. See berries and stream.
Yeah, and I walk with Bartov, just like my hand on his back, as if to almost gesture as like me holding his hand.
Aw. Yeah, so you guys walk the forest together. He knows that you like a specific type of berry, and he stops for you and says, you like this berry. So take some.
Oh, tistleberries!
Tistleberries. And he's happy when you're eating, like he's kind of treated you like a cub and says, cub no more, but still must eat. And he eats some, and you guys are just spending time together. You watch him fish in the stream for a little bit, and then after he like slaps some fish out of the water, he looks up to you and says, last noon, 3 males, noisy, came by. One smells like you. Many smells. Friend?
Maybe. Could be the boys, the best boys. As I think about Airmen and Keonthe's brother.
He watches, he slaps another fish out of the stream, and then he sniffs the ground and looks east. That way, they're there.
Okay, I'll look for them.
From Serena.
Yeah, we lost Serena for a little bit. Hopefully she'll come back.
Hopefully she'll come back. He says, I will show you, but won't show self to them, essentially. So he'll take you to them, but he doesn't really want to be seen.
Yeah, you can stay behind. I'll go to that direction as I point towards the direction that he was gesturing to.
Yeah. Okay. All right, make a survival check, I guess.
Good.
Don't die. Don't get lost.
Hey, okay, that's actually pretty dang good. That's a dirty 20.
Okay, yeah, he takes you to the spot where he thinks they went through, and he says, went through here, and you can find their tracks. And then he looks at you and looks at the distance and says, you're going now.
Wait, he's going now?
He's saying, like, you are leaving now. He knows you're leaving.
Yeah, I have to go. I wish I could spend more time.
He gives you this, like, big old lick.
Yeah.
And, we'll be here. Come again, friend.
I will. And I, like, kind of press my head against his head.
You share a little moment. And then you go and follow the trail. You can distinctly, after a while, you can distinctly make out Order's shining ball pin. In the morning light, he's tuning his mandolin, ding, 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 picking in his teeth. Breakfast ready at night. And then Airmen's like, you know, you could help. You could help with breakfast. Just like, nah.
Order! Airman!
What did I miss? I'm sorry, my internet died. And
It's
so did
okay.
my computer.
Ellie spent some time with her bear friend, and he pointed out that where the best boys went, so Ellie's found the best boys.
Alright, and it's just Ellie there, right?
Ah!
Yeah.
Found our boys.
Oh, it's just Ellie there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll wait.
And so then they see you and wave you down, and they're like, oh, hey. Lucius is doing parole out, so we'll see him around. Did you guys make it out okay?
Yeah, we did.
He's ordered.
And we found Luna's people, her father. So we can go to her town, go to Virkis.
Oh, that hasn't happened yet. But we'll like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Like this takes place like just before that.
Yeah, I know. I was saying. Oh, okay.
But basically, you could infer that you're going to Virkis.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, redact that. Edit that out.
We're going to Virkis. Oh, all right. We need to get supplies anyway. So.
Yeah, as soon as Lucian comes back, I'll walk you back to the rest of the party.
Yeah. So Lucius comes back after a few minutes, and you guys make up camp and go back to and you lead them back to where the damsels are.
Yeah, and like as we're walking, I'm just like, yeah, a bear told me where you guys were.
And then Lucian's like, oh, that's nice. That's nice. That tracks. You know, he seems unfazed by it. And then Aaron's like, a bear?
Yeah, his name's Bartov.
Oh, okay. He's trying to hide his nervousness. An order says, oh, maybe that's where his stepdaughter was.
I mean, it could be. He eats a lot.
I'm sure he does. Let's not go smart. You guys, unless you want to do anything else with them, you guys get back to the group.
Yeah, I bring the boys back. The boys are back in town.
The boys are in town.
Boys are back in camp.
Look who I found!
So, you guys can be up at this point or doing patrol or whatever you want. So,
Luna's probably like just waking up and
yeah, Luna's still pretty out of it. But the other two.
Keonthi is very excited to see her brother in one piece. And is it the three of them now, or is it still just Erevan and
It's three of them.
It's the three of them. Yeah.
all three of them together? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Keonthi goes just like sweeps in graciously, like, oh good, I'm so glad we found you so quickly, and goes straight up to Orator, and I think kind of like starts to give a hug, but then kind of stops. She's like, wait, is this hug time? We don't know.
And like he's like, oh, yeah, we can hug.
I was gonna hug, but then you questioned it. So.
Okay, yeah, and then he.
Now we have to do a handshake for 5 minutes.
And she's like, "Are we at hug status now?"
I guess so, because I'm just gonna. She just
He like awkwardly hugs you, and he's like, "This is nice."
so awkward. I like it.
Awkward sibling hug? Awkward sibling.
Awkward, sibling hug.
While they like slowly like reach into like the I'm comfortable with this hug. Kiara looks up a little bit distractedly from what she's writing and a little booklet, and then she sort of snaps it shut. She's like, "Oh, aren't you a sight for sore eyes?" And she sort of just pops over, like ducks her head to the other two. But then, you know, in that still, I'm not quite good at getting a hug without doing a little bit of accidental harm. She sort of like clumsily like, yeah.
Leaves her arm. And like,
I am armor.
yeah, like you and Lucius like have to like dance around the armor a little bit to like get like a good
Clank,
hug
clank,
that's not
clank.
like choking either of you.
Yeah.
You're like, wait,
The will is
okay,
there,
okay.
which is
and then he like,
unpracticed.
he like kind of like pats your head like, okay, yeah, progress. We're making progress.
Getting better at that, I think.
Keonthi will like go to the others too, and like go to Erevan and just kind of like be like, "Are you guys hurt? What happened exactly?"
Yeah, we lost you for a minute.
Oh well, we just booked it for the woods, to be honest.
Oh, we tried to do that. We just had to make sure we had Luna with us too. Good thing we all had the same idea.
A simple plan, just, you know, a little bit of complications here and there.
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I think it turned out all right. Good thing Ellie talked to a bear and found us.
She did?
Yeah, his name's Bartov. He's like
Oh.
a friend of mine.
I see.
I just
Of
look
course.
over and see Serena like,
I'm struggling.
More time. Okay.
what's happening?
It scared me. Sorry. Ignore this. Just trying to get
Yeah,
control of my rogue lamp.
When Kathy, when you talk to Airman, he's like a little distant. He seems to like kind of avoid eye contact a little. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're good. Glad you're okay." And he's kind of like just like slowly like, "I'm gonna, yeah, okay."
Good to hear. And then Keontae doesn't register any of this. It's gonna go contact us. Luscious wind towel, you know.
Yeah.
And
We're congratulating ourselves on being a little better at hugs than we were ever.
like,
Yes.
you guys look relieved to see each other again too.
Well,
I don't know how to get used to each other's company.
it's nice to have us around. And then you guys just kind of settle for a little bit as dawn rises. You now's the point where you see a band of riders approaching on proud wolves. They carry the flag with Arunal crest. Something you're all familiar at this point because Luna often wears her family ring.
It's also on her shield, I think.
Yes. So you're pretty familiar with it. You now this is a recap of last time where Luna runs into the arms of a middle-aged man. He's still pretty handsome. Like you showed me this like you picked like art for him and he's like super handsome. Oh my gosh. So
I mean, they
It's
had
good
to shit lines
genes,
on to get it
baby.
from
they have
somewhere.
a good gene line, yeah. He's like super handsome. Like he's a good
Is
silver
he
fox.
elvish or human? I can't
He's a human
tell.
guy. He's just handsome.
He's a human guy. He's just a total fox.
Yeah, he has those like silver
That's
streaks
what
going
I
through his hair.
belong
You notice that there's this slight limp as he gets off his wolf and embraces his daughter, and got like a nice strong
All the
chin.
damsels are checking him out.
Yeah.
Wow.
In front of him is someone you can only assume is Lionel, as Luna has talked about him a lot. He has a striking resemblance to his sister and his dad. Lionel is tall, with a smile that would make knees weak, striking hazel eyes, and hair that is perfectly messy.
I have to know, is that Kenna's description of her fictional brother, or is this yours?
It's mine. I just know that he's like...
Oh, you haven't seen the picture? He's quite gorgeous.
Yeah, no,
I should know, bruh. I've been in, bruh. I know that life.
and like even like Irvan's, you see Irvan like look at this family and then he like looks at himself and he's like, well, I'm done, I guess. and then like
It's a good thing it's not a
those of you who are
pageant.
close enough to order, you hear him lean over to Lucius and be like, that guy's hot. And
They're both like, yeah, he is. Yeah.
not you he is however preoccupied with seeing Luna. Behind him there's a woman with auburn hair. She appears to be in her like mid to late 20s, lithe built to her. She joins them in on the embrace, and beyond them like there's a pretty big group. You can see human male with brown hair. He watches over the family carefully and motions to the rest of the contingency to like give the family some privacy, so they kind of like turn their wolves around and look the other way. And then he motions for these two younger individuals. They're two women. They both dismount and cautiously walk over, careful not to draw attention to or disturb the Arunals. One is a half-elf with tan skin and long black hair that's braided into this basically like strict bun that's well kept. Beside her is a human woman in her late teens, early 20s. They're both roughly your age. This one, she's a bit stouter, has a heavier build, and has this like shock of copper hair that's cut short. And a half elf in the lead says, she puts out her hand and says, hi, my name is Georgia. Luna and I are childhood friends. And The second woman comes into view. Luna and I are acquaintances? Stroller says, she's Lionel's ex. That was ages ago. That was it. We became friends, right?
You too?
Like, boy. And then she leans over to like look at the girl, at all of you in the eyes. Doesn't he kind of fine figure? So he kind of like turns and looks at Lionel. You can just see a nice like picture of his butt in view.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's pretty hot. And then I like kind of turn to sides. I'm like, he's no Kenny though. Just kind of mutter to
Kiara takes
myself.
this in. And at some point she does look over at Lucius and she's like, do all topsiders travel in like bonds and groups, like a bunch of nomads, or is this just like a thing that we're seeing normally here? Is that like a common thing? I'm starting to assume that if we see a crowd of people, we should just start assuming that they're related. Yeah.
You see him think about it, and he says, "Well, they don't tend to go in packs." So I think about it.
Are they all nomads? Do they not?
I don't think they're all nomadic. Though. He's like, and he looks. I think some of them are related. I don't think they're all. They at least all know each other and are from the same place.
Mm-hmm. Kiara looks at the wolves, thinks about it. You know, I think of all the people to come down with the element of being of going into wolfhood, I think it couldn't have landed on a better person, honestly. Don't ever tell her I said that.
You know, he leans over. He's like, you know, I thought I was crossing my mind.
All right, I won't tell if you won't tell.
You nod, seems to nod between the two of you.
And then, like, when she introduces herself, so we're both like, hi!
And she... Estrilda... She's the one with the dark hair. She is very, like, formal with her approach, and you think that's just, like, kind of her upbringing. She's just raised to be, like, polite and formal. And Rian's the redhead, and she's more casual and laid back. And you see her kind of, like, throw her eyes over all the boys. Kind of size them up a little. And then you hear you see this raven come flying down. And Estrilda's like initially surprised, and then she's just like, she puts out her arm, and it lands on her arm. This is Abby, a raven. She's an oddly very social raven. The raven like kind of looks at all you guys.
I wave at the raven and say hi.
Hi!
Hi!
Oculus is a ferret right now because it's daytime, so he's just like...
Yeah, and then...
Amelia just like pokes out from under my hair. Muh.
Raven looks at Ferret. Hello! Ravens are very vocal when they want to be. And then they can make sounds. Stroller just trails off. She's a little awkward. Yeah, Abby, can you go fly? Flies since growing again. Jinx is oddly calm. Jinx is the cat you got.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kitty.
Yeah, your cat is oddly calm. She seems very, like, chill with what's going on.
This cat is the vibe.
Yeah, she just hangs out by...
Bunch of giant dogs, not my problem.
Yeah, she just hangs out by Kayanthi and Order, and she's fine with it. So, do you think you'll come to Virkis with us?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. I thought you'd never ask. And she says it in this dreamy, like, oh, thank goodness someone broke the ice.
Yeah, there's, I mean, it's a bit of a ride, but we can give you a lift over there, and, she whistles to have one of her wolf, she has her wolf come over, and it's this red furred wolf. This is Lexie. She's very, she's a troublemaker. You see Lexie go and just, like, sniff everyone and try to find, like, food in pockets, and,
I
Like,
produce a
She's
mushroom.
horse-sized.
Yeah, she's like this
"Oh, here,
horse-sized
mushroom
dog.
turkey."
Lexie, no, those are my berries.
Lexie, chill out. Go. And then go. And finally, it takes like a couple
Like 5 berries just like topple out of my dress, and I'm like,
don't indulge her. No, go. And Lexie kind of like puts her, gives like this pout face and then leaves to go back with the other crew. And after a few minutes, okay, now we'll go to Mark and Luna at this point. As he holds you tight, and you can smell the aftershave that he's always used, and he takes you, he like pushes you away just to, he wipes your tears away and says, "Hey, we're gonna get through this, okay? No curse, no. You're always gonna be my daughter, okay?"
Okay. I
We'll figure it out. I've been, I found some really old diaries in Grandma Michelle's house. Turns out that Great Grandma Linnea knew a werewolf really well, so I think if we,
okay.
we can reach out to her, we can figure out what they did to control it. Figure it out, okay?
Okay. But what about? No, never mind.
And he kind of gives you the look like. Do you want to, it's like the unspoken, are you sure you want to stay quiet about it? And then...
Yeah, she's just kind of thinking about everything that just happened over in Hillock, and she's like, do I want him to know about that? If yes, then when?
Yeah. So...
I don't want to ruin the moment.
Okay. And he takes off his cloak and puts it on you, and then says, "Let's just get you home."
Okay.
Puts you on Duke, this big dog. And comes over to the group. I want to thank you for taking care of my daughter. She has good friends. I'd like to invite all of you to come and join us at the Arunal estate.
yeah.
Great.
Gladly.
We might need a... He looks at the men who are there, and Lucius is just like... and,
Thanks, Tim.
and Order just kind of goes, "Yo."
Yo.
Just this long... Alright. Well, we can double up on the wolves. And, he goes and hops on the back of his wolf with Luna. And then Lionel rides over and pats his wolf. "This is Silver. Does anyone want to ride with me?"
Bruh.
Bruh.
I heard that remark from Order earlier, and Kiara's ear twitches, and she's sort of just like, Order?
And he looks around and he's like, "Yeah, dude, I'll take it." And he just hops off the back.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Meet y'all there.
Yeah, and just when he asks, I'm just like, no, thank you. And I just kind of walk away.
Yeah.
I'm a royal leader.
And I'm just it's yeah, Kenny's way hotter.
These leaves stay loyal.
Alright, yeah, so, Ellie, you ride with Estrella. Count that you can ride with, Rian, who's the other, who's the redhead, and then, Kiara, you can ride, you can ride with whoever, you can ride with Sandy, or Brackus, or an unnamed guy, but anyway, there's plenty of wolves to ride on, everyone is able to
double up, and there's still some riders left over.
Which one looks like a paladin?
Brackus, probably.
Brackus, yeah. You see this older guy who's in his like 40s, really like well built. He has like well kept armor and well kept weapons. He stays pretty close to Mark, and if you ask him, he'll tell you that he's Mark's like personal bodyguard. And
Kiara pats Lucius on the back. I want a smooth ride. See you there. I want a smooth ride. I'll see you there. Pats Lucius and just, all right with you. Promise I won't get in the way or nothing.
He's just nice. He's like, all right, yeah, hop on. You hop on.
She has this thing where she at first is just like, there's this mathematical calculation of dog versus horse versus dog. Never sits there, looks up.
Horse dog.
Right. Calculates how he's sitting. He must have got on this way.
Takes a minute, and then he holds out his hand and helps you up onto it.
Thanks.
Yeah. He's just like, I mean, it's hard to... I know how hard it is to get on with plate.
Hey, and there's more fur than mane.
Oh, yeah,
Hard to
and he
get a
has
line,
this...
hard to get a ridge line on that.
Yeah. I didn't name... we'll just name her... he's like, oh, this is Dusty, and it's this, like, really mellow gray dog. And you guys ride.
I like Dusty.
Hi, this is Tiffany, your DM. Thank you for watching Dungeon Damsels. This is not the end of the session, so please stay tuned for the next part. We update on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're interested in supporting us more, please push the subscribe button, like, or comment. We also have a Patreon, wink wink nudge nudge, and our show is in podcast form. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Podbean, Spotify, and plenty of other podcast platforms. Thanks, we hope to hear from you soon.